Now, as far as painting the handle and the period, I suggest getting a dowel rod to begin with that will fit inside both the period and the handle. That way, when you're spray painting it, your hand will be a good enough distance away from the part where you won't get any overspray on your hand, and you can hold it out away from you a little further so you won't be breathing in all this paint fumes. It's also a lot handier to spray paint the whole part and just stick this somewhere. Either put a couple of heavy books on top of this on a bookshelf and just leave it hang out like this and let it dry. For the period and the handle, I suggest a primer coat of a light gray paint that would, because like I said with the umbrella tip, it'll help cover up the different colors, because you have the clearness of the rod and the dark spots where you put the putty. If you were trying to just spray it with red paint right off the bat, you'd end up having to put a lot of coats of red paint on, and you really don't want to do that. So do a light coat of primer on it. It will also help show off any defects that are still on the handle. If there are any flat spots, they'll show up a lot easier. So if you see any defects when you put after you put the primer coat on, let the paint dry. Then go get some superfine sandpaper, sand down the area, removing the paint, and then put some more putty down there. Wait for the putty to dry, and then sand that putty to smooth into the shape you're wanting. Then I really do recommend at least 3 to 4 coats of red paint, depending on what type of paint you use. I'm using the Krylon Fusion paint for plastic, and it's more of a thinner, translucent paint. So I have to use maybe 3 or 4 coats of it, but just do light coats. Then that way you'll get the bright red color you're wanting. And after you finish painting the parts red, let them dry for a decent amount of time, and then go back and do 4 to 5 coats of clear gloss acrylic paint. That will provide a protective barrier between your hand and the red paint. The first handle I made, I just stopped at the red paint, and I was walking around during the summer, sweaty hand, and I let go of the handle, and I noticed my hand was red. Apparently the paint kind of rubbed off, and so I figured I'll just do a few coats of the clear gloss acrylic, and it works fine for me. Now, after you've gotten it all painted, take your time when it comes to gluing it. Put the period on, and use whatever glue you're comfortable with, but just remember, when you put that handle on, look at it. See if it's pretty much straight with the umbrella shaft. If it is, you're lucky. You can just put the glue in and just stand it up like this in something, a bucket, and just let the glue dry. But if you've got a lot of play in the handle, like this one does, you're going to want to use a glue that will set up a little fast, because you're going to have to sit there and kind of hold this handle straight as the glue is drying. I prefer using a Gorilla Glue when it comes to attaching the handle, because like I said before, it expands as it dries. It'll fill up the gaps that are in there between the dowel rod and this hole, and it'll just make for a firmer fit. And when it starts foaming up, you're good to just let go of the handle and walk away and do something while you're waiting for it to dry. Alright, now if you've done everything the right way, your finished umbrella should look something like this. Now here's a few safety tips as far as your handle goes. If you're going to be traveling to conventions and you're going to be bringing this with you, I recommend either taking a couple of gym socks and basically putting them around the handle, or if you have somebody close to you that knows how to knit, you can have them make you a nice little cozy for your umbrella handle here to help protect it from getting dinged up or chipped. Especially if you're going to be flying and putting this in the overhead compartment. Because regardless of what paint you use, if you bang this up against something or drop it, the paint will chip if it hits something hard enough. If you ever do chip the paint on your handle and you can see the acrylic rod underneath, all you need to do is get some super fine sandpaper and just sand down the spot where that chip is, and then go in with take the cans of spray paint that you use. This time you could probably get away with not using the primer coat. You can just get your red spray paint and spray that spot. Just 3 or 4 light passes should do it. You know, letting it dry between pass, and then do a few coats of the clear acrylic gloss, and your handle should look as good as new. And that's pretty much it, folks. I hope this helps you on making your own handles, umbrellas, and good day.